If you want to start a conversation, you have to realize that the person standing across from you is likely praying for you to save them from the silence. You see them, you want to speak to them, but then the wall comes up. That invisible, suffocating barrier that tightens your throat and convinces you of a lie. The lie is that you are an intruder. The lie is that everyone else belongs here, and you are just watching. You think you need a perfect opening line. You think you need charisma. You think you need permission. But the truth is, connection isn't about being interesting. It's about being brave enough to break the seal. Today, we aren't just learning how to say hello. We are going to dismantle the psychological cage that keeps you silent. I want you to recall the last time you were in a room full of potential friends or potential partners, and you said absolutely nothing. You remember the physical sensation, don't you? It starts in the stomach, a cold knot. Then the spectator mode kicks in. You look at a group laughing nearby, and they seem like a different species. They seem effortless. You wonder, what is wrong with me? Why is this so easy for them and so impossible for me? The walk home is the worst part. That is when the regret sets in. You replay the scenarios. You invent conversations that never happened. You think about the what-ifs. If I had just said hi, if I had just asked about that book they were reading. This is the tragedy of social anxiety. It is not a lack of ability, it's a surplus of overthinking. You are trapped in a glass box of your own design. You can see the world, you can hear the world, but you cannot touch it. And the most painful part? You convince yourself that you're doing them a favor by staying quiet. You tell yourself, I don't want to bother them. You frame your cowardice as politeness, but deep down, you know the truth. You are starving for connection, and you're terrified that if you reach out, you'll find out that you are unlovable. But what if I told you that your silence is actually selfish? Here is the psychological shift that changes everything. It's called the social savior reframe. Evolutionary psychology tells us that human beings are tribal. To be cast out meant death. So your brain treats the risk of being socially rejected the same way it treats the risk of being eaten by a lion. That fear you feel, it's a survival mechanism. But here's the reality of the modern world. Most people are lonely. Most people are bored. Most people are stuck in their own heads worrying about how they look just like you are. When you wait for someone else to start the conversation, you are asking them to take the social risk. You are asking them to be brave so you can be safe. The shift is this. Stop trying to get something from the interaction and start trying to give relief. When you break the silence, you're not interrupting. You are rescuing them. You are rescuing them from their own boredom, their own anxiety, or the awkward silence of the elevator. When you view yourself as a bother, you stay small. When you view yourself as a giver of energy, you become magnetic. You don't need to be impressive. You just need to be the one who goes first. The world belongs to those who break the ice. Now, let's get tactical. You're ready to be the savior, but what do you actually say? Forget pickup lines. Forget rehearsed jokes. Use these 3 psychological keys. Step 1. The triangulation method. Never start a conversation by commenting directly on the person. That feels aggressive. And never start by talking about yourself. That feels arrogant. Instead, talk about the third point in the triangle, the environment. If you're at a coffee shop and the line is long, that's the third point. I've aged 3 years waiting for this latte. If you're at a networking event and the food is weird, I'm 90% sure this appetizer is plastic. Have you tried it? You and the stranger are now on the same team observing a shared reality. It's low pressure, it's natural, and it invites them to play along. Step 2 is the labeling the elephant technique. If you're nervous, say you're nervous. This sounds counterintuitive, but psychology shows that vulnerability triggers trust. It's called the pratfall effect. If you walk up to someone and say, "Honestly, I'm terrible at these events, and I don't know anyone, so I decided to say hi to the friendliest-looking person here. You have just disarmed them completely. You've taken the pressure off yourself to be cool, and you've complimented them. You are real. In a world of fake confidence, authenticity is a superpower. Step 3 is the preloaded exit. The reason you're scared to start a conversation isn't the beginning, it's the fear of getting stuck in an awkward middle. You fear the trap. So structure your opening with an ending. I can only stay for a second because I have to meet my friend or get back to work, but I had to ask. When the other person knows you are leaving soon, their defenses go down. They know they won't be trapped listening to you for an hour. It lowers the stakes for both of you. And ironically, once the pressure is off, they usually want you to stay longer. Every best friend you've ever had was once a stranger. Every great romance in history started with a moment of courage. Every business partner, every mentor, every connection that makes life worth living, it all started with one person deciding that the pain of silence was greater than the fear of rejection. You are not a ghost. You are not an observer. You are a participant in this life. Do not let your fear rob the world of your voice. The next time you see that person, the next time you feel that pull, count to 3, turn off your brain, and speak. Because the only thing worse than the awkwardness of saying hello is the silence of a life lived alone.